It's important that you all know, okay, that my mission is to help as many people as I can with this, okay, exposing the truth. And it's the truth about a lie being told by the pharmaceutical industry, a lie that says neuropathy cannot be reversed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over that, and I'm going to show you what some, would call a miracle, and how we get to that miracle based off the footprints left behind by my patients before you. So let's do this. Okay, let's take a journey together. Go from hopeless to hopeful, as it is completely hopeless to have our only option is a bunch of tests, medications, injections, and surgeries. Look, short-term use, right? I get it, but understand this: in the long run, you will not help medicate neuropathy. Okay, you cannot reverse neuropathy that way. And continuing to go down the same path, over and over and over again will eventually lead to insanity. As what we're doing is just continuing to do the same thing, expecting some different outcome. What these medications do and these injections do is they just numb and blind us from knowing how truly bad a neuropathy really is. It's giving us this falsehood of security. So it's important you understand that your body, okay, was designed to be able to heal and recover without this, hamster wheel, right, of medications, injections, and surgeries. Do this. Give your body a chance, okay? And with the right environment and repetition, we can win together. Okay, so tonight, what I'm going to do is shoot for about, 50 minutes or so, depending on questions and so forth. Last webinar, we had quite a few questions. I stayed on, I dug real deep into providing clarity for everyone's questions. Got a lot of good feedback about it. So again, I will allow time for that. Of course, this is why we're here, right? For those of you who are just kind of joining in here, I know we got some Q&A questions going there and some hands up. As we go through this, what I'd like you to do is if you have any questions, jot them down on a notepad, piece of paper, and at the end of the webinar, you can enter your questions in the chat box at the bottom of the screen, and I'm looking forward to getting all those answered for you. So let's jump into some of the content. Question is, how do we go from, this, I don't know what to do. They say there's nothing that can be done. I don't want this to get worse. I'm concerned, I'm worried, I'm anxious about what is going to happen if this progresses. How do we address this without the drugs, without the surgeries, without these, invasive procedures that just are going to mask symptoms? These are all the questions and the concerns we will be addressing as we go. Okay, I'd like to do something special for you all, a bonus, if you will. For those of you who have stayed till the end, shows me that you have a vested interest to learn about this. It shows that you are committed to getting to the root cause. I personally like working with people who are committed to doing this thing the right way. So at the end of the webinar, there will be a special offer that I give to everyone that attends this webinar. And the details, the thick of that, I'll get into later, but basically, it's the next step. Okay, if you want to see if you're, a candidate and if I can help you. Now, I do these personally, one-on-one. I have, of course, a wonderful team. We have 6 other doctors working with us, as well as our health and wellness team. But I do these calls myself. So if you want to see if you're a candidate at the end of the webinar, if we can help, we have a special offer for you. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so real quick response in the chat. Let me know how many of you in the audience are grandparents. Not that everybody I work with is a grandparent, but if you're a grandparent, type that in the chat box there. Let me know so I can just get a feel for the group and who I'm talking with. Grandparents on the call, just press that chat icon at the bottom of your screen. Type grandma, grandpa, abuela, papa, pop, opa. I think I've heard them all, but you never know. Looking forward to giving some shout outs to all the the nicknames and grandparents representing on the webinar tonight. You know, when I think of my daughter, Victoria, spending time with her grandparents, you know, that love that they share, the moments of embrace, that special bond, it really makes me see how important it is for her to be able to continue to share as many memories as she can with her grandparents for years to come. So I have a message for all of you in the audience, okay? You do not have to endure life anymore. You can live it. So whatever, you know, your hopes and dreams are or used to be, whatever life is, you know, calling out for you to accomplish that you need to do, we need your feet. Okay, we need your balance. You can't, you know, rely on medications, kind of be this physical and emotional burden to your loved ones, your family. You need to be healthy for them as well as yourself. Okay, and this is why I do what I do. All right, let me check on the chat box here, bottom of my screen. Looks like we got a good number of grandparents on the call here. Guillermo. I'm sorry, Steve, grandparent. We got Lori, grandma, Gregory, grandpa, Cindy, grandma. Looks like Hamilton, grandpa, Pat, great grandma, grandpa, Guillermo, yes, grandpa, Barbara, grandma, Alexander, Rev, all right, Lori, grandmother, Connie, grandmother of 6. Wow, Nanny, I love it. Danny, 4 grandchildren, beautiful. We have someone says you're on a fire tablet, I guess that's Papa. Wilma, grandma of 2 adult granddaughters, and Nelda, grandma, Teresa, Yaya. I don't know if I've heard that one before. That's great. Guillermo, abuelo, Nelda, from Alabama, thank you. And then we got Ro. I like it too. We got 2 grandkids. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful. Thank you, folks, for giving me the info on the family and whatnot. I love it. Okay, so I get this question asked all the time. Why isn't, you know, my doctor or neurologist providing the same level of care that your institute does? Let's answer that question now, okay? I work with integrative medical professionals, you know, across the country. I teach them this hidden secret kept from them in medical school. See, in medical school, you know, we're trained that nutrition has nothing to do with health. We basically have a sick care system where, you know, medical doctors and insurance companies are basically treating symptoms, but, you know, aren't really getting to the root causes. And in many cases, they're not dealing with the whole person. What they're doing is they're dealing with the symptom by which they then give a drug, which then has a side effect, right? It's a full circle, constantly spinning, you know, more toxicity, more disease, and then more ill health. So to answer the question, why isn't my, you know, provider or neurologist providing the same level of care that you and your institute does, is because of time and money. See, medications are easy to hand out. You know, they cost pennies to manufacture and are astronomically profitable. Does that make it right? No, of course not. The reality of this situation is this. When it comes to traditional medical care for neuropathy, there is a system, there is an industry, and there's a philosophy. The philosophy is management of the symptoms of neuropathy. The component that's missing there is the cause. So the reason I'm bringing you this message is where there is lack of vision, people perish. if you don't know that your body can actually heal and there is hope to get well and heal from neuropathy, our default just becomes then the system. So let me tell you a little bit about who I am. We have had our neuropathy care program here for about 10 years. We have a team of over 30 board certified neuropathy doctors, nutritionists, nurse practitioners, health and wellness coaches, and administrative providers. It is a wonderful, wonderful team. Like I mentioned before, I do teach other providers around the country, board certified neuropathy care and process diplomate from the American Board of Clinical Nutrition. Nutrition is a huge component of what we do, as we are what we eat, and end up being a direct reflection of the foods and compounds that find their way into our bodies. That there is my wife, my daughter, and our lovable little Morky. Whatever brings you joy in life, right? Being with your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, volunteering at your church, gardening, walking the dog, traveling, whatever it is, I want you to be able to do it, okay? So let's switch gears here and review some common symptoms. As possible candidates for care, let's see, if you can identify with any of these. How about pins and needles, pain or numbness, burning, freezing, swelling, fatigue or heaviness, right? Difficulty walking. Excuse me. Maybe, you're getting around pretty well, but you're slower than you used to be. How about balance issues? Do you close your eyes in the shower? God forbid you better be holding on to the wall, or maybe you already have a chair in the shower, that sort of thing. Do you have difficulty on the steps? Trouble sleeping? Are you unable to put your feet under the sheets anymore? They got to be sticking out due to being kind of sensitive, irritated. Difficulty driving. I hear things like, feels like I'm walking on marshmallows, sponge, bubble wrap, piece of leather around my foot. Feels like my feet are wrapped in, saran wrap, a tightness around them, that sort of thing. How about, the ability to be able to take care of yourself and the people you love, slowly but surely losing that independence, that freedom. Maybe you don't even go out with friends and family at all, or as often as you used to. Entertaining guests at the house, cooking on your feet, running errands, things like that. Maybe you still do these things, but less often, and it just doesn't bring you the same joy as it used to, because you just don't have the energy anymore. Or maybe you're afraid if you go do those things, you might fall. How about physical activities, outdoors, hobbies, hiking, whatever it might be. I have a patient who told me recently, I just spoke with on consultation, that he had to stop his wood carving due to the neuropathy now spreading into his hands. Is it now more difficult maybe to play with the kiddos, grandkids, attend their events? My daughter's dance class, we have these 2 steps, right? Just 2 steps to get up to the front door and into the dance studio. I see wheelchairs, people in walkers, having to be kind of lifted up over these steps. Bear in mind, it's 2 steps. However, I can totally see how that might be embarrassing to some. How about, traveling, driving, vacations, retirement, right? Best years of your life. But, if you can't enjoy them, maybe you just don't go. So look, I see these and listen to these struggles, every day. My patients have real life physical challenges. These physical challenges lead to mental and, emotional type conditions. Depression, anxiety, guilt, there's a real lack of desire to do things. asking yourself, am I a burden to my family? Am I going to be able to stay in my home? Will I need to be put in some type of assisted living facility? Will be able to drive, and so on. Let's do a quick exercise here, kind of do a little bit of a 180 turn, right? After we just went all over all those symptoms. This will be fun, okay? So I want everyone to participate. I'd like you all to close your eyes and imagine, just humor me for a second, and imagine what your life would be like without these symptoms, without, any more barriers and limitations in life. You can do anything and everything your neighbor can do. No more anxiety that's getting worse. Let's say you got this, roadmap to health and a game plan to freedom. You can confidently, right, move forward knowing that you are working on the cause of the condition, the cause, okay, and working with your body's God-given ability to heal. Feels pretty incredible, right? We're all here tonight. We could, of course, be somewhere else, but we're not. And that is because we have a purpose, right? A vision. And this is why I do what I do, okay? I am committed to that vision. Alrighty, so I'd like you all to meet Angel. Angel, father of 3, husband to a stay-at-home mother, very successful draftsman, just really doing great in life. About a year ago, started to develop numbness, tingling, loss of motor control with his hands, legs, similar issue, diabetic, and taking statin meds for high cholesterol. So long story short, he ended up losing his job due to poor performance reviews. He basically had everything, right? And slowly lost it all. Now, within just 6 months, we walked him down a completely different path. On his re-exam, he scored a 95%, an almost complete reversal of his neuropathy. He's now back at drafting and regaining his confidence as a skilled draftsman. Taking a look at Angel, he doesn't fit the model for neuropathy, right? This is a story of, how the breakdown of the body can happen to anyone at any time and can basically take away so much if you do not take it seriously. So let's do this. Let's hear from Angel.
Hi, my name is Angel. I came in for, I had a lot of numbing in my hands and certain tinglings in my feet. And with the wonderful experience I've had here, I no longer have those issues as much or even at all in some cases. And it's been a really wonderful experience. I definitely recommend it, especially being younger, for those young and elderly, to really come in and just check about the symptoms and really come for the service. It's great, wonderful people, and thank you so much.
Beautiful, love it. I'm so happy for Angel getting his life back. Okay, so I have about 18 hands raised. Some of you have may just been kind of joining in, got your hands raised, you're saying hello, or you actually have a question. I love all the questions, and I love all the comments. I do see all those, and I appreciate your participation, and I'm sure so does the group, so they can relate. Any questions that you may have, I cannot wait to answer those, and I will be answering those at the end of the webinar. So make sure you're writing those questions down so you do not forget them. And at the end of the webinar, I'll let you know when you can put those questions into the chat box, and I will get them all answered for you. All right. So let's do this. Let's come together, okay? We spoke about the symptoms of neuropathy, how people have lost their independence from this condition, and what freedom would look like if you no longer had neuropathy. Now let's educate ourselves on what is neuropathy. Okay, so this is super important. Neuropathy or nerve damage is a systemic compartmental disorder, meaning the systems, specifically your circulatory system within the compartment of your feet, and for some it has progressed to your hands, is no longer supplying the vital nutrients to the nerves. So again, the blood vessels within your feet supporting the flow of blood that carries nutrients and oxygen, keeping those nerves alive and healthy, has basically collapsed, okay? When the nerves within your feet begin to degenerate and die, what they do is they scream for help, sending a signal to your brain asking for help. So let's do a comparison, okay? Make this really easy to understand. Your vehicle's check engine light is on, and the heat gauge, right, has headed towards overheating. Understand that the check engine lights on the dashboard of your car are a red flag warning that there is a major problem within one of the compartments of your engine. So within some compartment of your engine, there's a major malfunction. The brain of your vehicle is sending a signal to the dashboard, right, saying check engine or help me. Okay, so we have 3 simple options to choose from. Option number 1, you just keep driving, right? Hoping that light somehow turns off, risking the engine overheating or worse, catching fire. You know, as a mechanic of the body, I hear this all the time. I've been diagnosed with, neuropathy, but, my symptoms are not that bad. I can just live with it. I can get by. It's not that bad right now, or, I'm probably not as bad, as a lot of the people that you work with. Probably 10 to 15% of the people on the call tonight are thinking that. So because, it's just a warning sign on the dash, and by the, the look of your car, everything seems fine. You just keep driving it. You just carry on with your life, right? Here is the challenge. If you wait till your engine overheats, the damage may be unrepairable. If you look up the defining characteristics of neuropathy, it says progressive or degenerative condition, meaning it progressively gets worse over time. People will tell me things like, oh, doc, the last 2-3 months, I don't know what it is, or the last year or so, it just feels like it has gotten, exponentially worse. It has just really started to come alive and progress. So if this is making sense to you all, type the number 3 for me in the chat box there at the bottom of your screen. If you're following me so far, number 3 in the chat box. And again, I don't want it, to get to that stage, right? At 90% sensory loss, when it is that far down the road, our protocol can be ineffective. So again, maybe you can relate to that. I do see this on a regular basis. I'm looking at the chat box here. Look at all these 3s. Looks like everyone's following me so far. Thank you, folks. Okay. So here is option number 2. Okay, you go to the mechanic and he gives you the cheapest option. That option is just to turn off the check engine light. Sounds like a horrible mechanic, by the way. But anyways, just trying to keep this simple for you. So this mechanic is giving you this, turning off the check engine light, temporary patch or band-aid to the problem. This type of mechanic, if he or she were to have a solution to your neuropathy, it would be to give you drugs, gabapentin injections, and then eventually, surgery. This is a short-term temporary escape from what is going on under your hood. See, the check engine light is now off. You took some gabapentin, right? Or you had a steroid injection, and wow, right? This is great. I feel good now. I can just keep driving. Some time passes, the check engine light comes back on, and now the engine is starting to overheat. Mechanic refills some coolant and turns off the check engine light again, and then this cycle repeats, and then it repeats. It is a full circle, constantly spinning, right? More drugs, more toxicity, more disease, and then eventually just more ill health until these drugs no longer patch your condition. The mechanic now says that the damages to your engine are no longer repairable and you need surgery. We need to take the engine out. Your toe needs to be removed, foot, leg, and so on. Does that make sense? This is this hamster wheel effect of sick crisis care. All right. Third option, okay? Third and last option. Diagnostics, okay, reveals the leak, but what caused the leak is the question. Finding the solution in all this lies in what caused the problem in the first place. So of course, we need to do a thorough analysis to understand why your engine is overheating. And that is what we need to ask ourselves with neuropathy. What is the underlying cause of your neuropathy so that we can begin to fix it and allow the body to heal? So in other words, what is causing your engine overheat and what is the long-term approach to solve the problem for good? I'm sure when it comes to your vehicle, you want the job done right. Now, why should our own human bodies be any different? Okay, so let's say this new mechanic, tells you that you have a coolant leak. See, this mechanic uses a different set of diagnostic tools, right? The cause is not the check engine light, nor is the cause of your neuropathy the symptoms you're experiencing. The numbness, burning, tingling, right, are warning signs. Your feet are sending you warning signals, screaming at you that there is a problem, a malfunction. So the answer is not, turn off the warning signals by taking some gabapentin or Lyrica. That is not fixing the cause. Everyone following me so far? If you could type a 1 in that chat box there, if you understand the solution to neuropathy lies in the cause. Go ahead and throw that 1 in the chat box there, and we can move on to some of the causes of neuropathy. Lots of 1s there. Love it. Thank you. Glad to see this is all making sense. All right, so top causes of neuropathy. There are over 100, okay, but these are the top causes. So diabetic neuropathy is about a third. There's also something that they call CIPN, chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathy. We see a lot of that. Agent Orange, chemical exposure, environmental toxins, other types of toxic exposures, infections, viral, bacterial, fungal, things like shingles, Guillain-Barré, even things like HIV, COVID, alcohol, smoking, surgical, right? So post-surgical neuropathy, that's pretty common. There is neuropathy after surgery. Some of you, I don't know if you know this or not, but side effects to medications, specifically statin drugs for cholesterol, is one of the main drivers of neuropathy, statin drugs, okay? And listen, what I said before, what I'm saying now, it is not that medicine is the enemy and it's evil and never take a drug. Just let me be clear, it is not that at all. I'm grateful that those things are there as a last resort for crisis care. God forbid you need it, right? I'm grateful it's there. However, not the first option, not for the long term, to get to the cause of the issue. Okay, let's kind of cruise through this one. We all know, that fall risk is a very serious complication. I'm personally aware as I work with people. One of the individuals that is a member with us, she told me first time I met her that she fell through a glass coffee table, right? Whole situation, complications afterwards, really, God forbid, right? I think it is important that the level that I operate at. I'm going to get into it with people because I want to avoid these kinds of things. CDC does a lot of this where they actually have a program. It's called the STEADY program. They do an analysis and they have statistics. And we're, really trying to, as a community, reduce those number of falls. All right. So let me introduce you to Kathy. Kathy spent the last 40 years of her life working at the same desk, to finally retire, right, and do what she loves. 40 years. What she finally wanted to do is just golf. Okay. 2 years ago, she lost her balance going down a flight of stairs, ruptured some ligaments in her knee, surgery, rehab, and she started to develop neuropathy. Physical therapists and specialists, and 6 months later, she was told she developed post-surgical neuropathy and the damage was unrepairable. Kathy was told, hey, look, I'm sorry, you'll never golf again, and you'll need, a wheelchair for walking distances more than 50 feet so that you don't re-injure the ligaments in your knee. Here's the thing. Kathy did not spend the last 40 years at the same job, doing the same thing over and over and over again to, just be told it's hopeless. So what she did, she came to us, and within 3 months, okay, no more wheelchair, and she was back at golfing. That in just 3 months, okay? So look, everyone is different. It doesn't always happen that quickly. But what I want you to know is what is true and possible for Kathy is possible for you if you do it the right way. So let's do this. Let's listen to Kathy give us kind of an update on her results.
Hi, my name is Kathy. I used to have to use a wheelchair when I would go through the airports. I don't have pain anymore in my knee, and I golfed for the first time in 1.5 years without pain.
Isn't that just incredible, right? Life restored. Now she can enjoy her retirement, which she's been working for and towards for 40 years of her life. Now, as far as, amputations, okay, as it gets, that progressed or can get that far down the road, I'd venture to say that, a number of you have not only heard that, but, might know someone, maybe a family member, a parent, grandparent, a neighbor, where that was the case. The whole thing is that we need to catch it as early as possible and get to work right away. The earlier we catch it, the quicker it comes around, right? We want to make sure, we catch it before it's just, too far down the way and untreatable. Alrighty. So people want a quick fix, right? Unfortunately, there is no quick fix. Chronic conditions like neuropathy do not require acute solutions, meaning that a short-term Band-Aid may provide some temporary relief of a symptom, but will not fix or address the underlying cause of neuropathy. The body takes time and repetition to heal. Look, we don't lose 50 pounds, right, in a week. It takes time and repetition to lose weight. We don't go to the gym for 4 days and somehow look like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Braces, how about braces? If anybody has had braces, family members, braces, time and repetition, years, and then you take them off and you got to wear a retainer. So there are principles here. This is not my opinion. This is just how our body is made. Traditional approach. I don't know if you know this or not, but gabapentin, also called Neurontin, is actually an anti-seizure medication. It is prescribed off-label for neuropathy. Significant side effects to it. I've heard things like, my husband just started taking that, and he's seeing force of everything now. Has brain fog and forgetfulness, and all sorts of things. Short term, look, I get it. You got to do what you got to do. Okay. Long term, this is my point. This is not the answer. Lyrica, same thing, anti-seizure medication, off-label, prescribed for neuropathy, significant side effects. There are, of course, other medications, right? Like, Cymbalta, injections, epidural surgery, but also other things as well, secondary things, non-invasive treatments, okay, like compression socks, or maybe acupuncture, physical therapy, massage, vibration, essential oils, things like that. Wonderful things. I recommend a lot of those, but let me be clear. Those things are what I will call secondary measures for neuropathy, meaning that in and of themselves, they are not going to reverse neuropathy just with that. They are wonderful additions. I am a big proponent of those things, but we need to do the primary things to get this neuropathy reversed. So if this is making sense to you all out there, type in the chat box for me the number 2, number 2, throw that in there if this is all making sense to you. All right, looking at the chat box, making sure everybody's with me. Thank you, folks. Appreciate that. All right, moving right along. And again, I do see we've got even more hands up, questions, and I see lots of comments and questions in the chat box. I love all those. Can't wait to answer or respond to comments and whatnot. So make sure you you hold on to those questions and comments, and at the end of the webinar, I'll let you know when you can put those comments back in the chat box, and I'll get them answered for you. Okay, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Mary. So Mary, she owned a successful jewelry business, mother to wife, several years ago, diagnosed with cancer. Went through traditional chemo, radiation, developed severe neuropathy from the chemo. So bad, she couldn't even stand up. Horrible pains, could barely sleep. She fell into depression, anxiety, just type of situation that breaks your heart. Went to see top neurologists, she said, and neurologist basically told her, Mary got neuropathy and it's advanced. Unfortunately, you just got to live with it, and you're going to probably end up in a wheelchair, and won't be able to work. Basically just gave her a script, or referral to see a psychiatrist, because she's probably going to become depressed. Yikes, right? Now, through all my years of school and practice and study, there has been one common denominator, at least one common thread, and that is hope, right? If people don't have hope of a bigger, brighter future, then they basically go downhill fairly quickly. And this is, again, why I do what I do. I want to give you hope, to give you certainty, to give you some type of action plan. Not a lot of hope, right, in what that neurologist told Mary. So let me tell you this. Mary is, she's not the type to just kind of roll over and blindly accept what that neurologist told her. So she meets with us, we do her exam and we get it started with her, and Mary improves by 70% within just 6 months after seeing us. She went from sleeping 15, 20 minutes at a time to sleeping 8 hours, no problem. This is what I call life restored, right? So I think about, Mary's family, right? Their future, the loss of income, loss of quality of life, and how that would have happened had she not come to see us. Now, what is true for Mary is true for you. There is potential to get well. We just need to make sure we're catching it within enough time, and we're doing it the right way. So let's do this. Let's watch a brief video of Mary in action here.
And it's been, I think, 7 or could have even been 10 years. I laid on the couch for 3 years. I was OD'd on chemo, and I haven't been able to even move my feet and walk and stuff, let alone every household needs. Now I'm jogging for the first time ever.
Can we see you jog?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. Let's do that.
Okay, guys, here we go. Let's go. Yeah. Wow.
So amazing. Just absolutely love it. Okay, jumping into what we do. What I will tell you is it is not just about a piece of equipment. It's not just about some supplement recommendation or some nutritional recommendation. What it's about is doing the right things in synergy, working together with the precise timing and repetition, not twice a week from someone's office. What we do is we do this thing in a home care model. Now, at our physical location, our headquarters in Glendora, California, if you live within just 5 minutes of our office, you still do this stuff at home. If you live in Texas, Alabama, New York, Arizona, Tennessee, same thing, okay? We have folks do this thing from home. So remember, we are dealing with a runaway train. And the only way to slow it down, stop the progression and reverse it is an entire ecosystem of care. So some 30-minute session twice a week in an office is not going to work. We need to do it for 30 minutes twice a day while you're relaxing on the couch, watching your favorite show, reading a book, or on the computer, right? Now, it is important to know what level we work at. These are not some plastic toys you find on Amazon that vibrate and have flashy lights. The equipment we use is practitioner licensed only. We use and we help develop the equipment ourselves. If you look on your screen here, there's an example of a letter from Cancer Treatment Centers of America using our product. If you look on there, the study conducted was with over 300 patients and showed a 96% success rate treating their patients, not only our equipment, but also a tailored approach to our protocol, okay? Also stating the reduction of use of or completely stopping the need for pain meds from symptoms of neuropathy. They now use our equipment in basically every one of their cancer treatment centers, okay? And again, keep in mind, there's tailored approach to recommendations for diet and supplementation as well. And look, right, if you're going to do this the right way and you want to heal, right, it's important that you have a real solid tailored ecosystem of care. Now, when it comes to infrared light therapy, there is a lot of different kind of light therapies out there. Our equipment, okay, has a patented 890 nanometer wavelength with a 292 pulse rate. Again, has patents on the technology. The technology is specifically utilized for neuropathy, okay? Lots of published studies, FDA approved since 1994. All studies are based on increased blood flow and wound healing. If you look at the top right, you can actually see a test that was done with a laser Doppler scanner. The test for increases in blood flow. Our therapy system resulted in a 3,200% increase in circulation. I'll basically tell you this, okay? So I had my grandma, right? She used this product in conjunction with all of our other protocols, specifically tailored to her needs when she developed neuropathy a few years back. Now, the same care I would provide for my own grandma is what I do for our practice members, which is, what I call the folks that we work with. Now, this is the gold standard in what is needed to get the body to heal. What it does is it connects with this thing in the middle called VEGF, vascular meaning blood vessel, endothelial growth factor. It is a blood vessel growth factor. Just so you know, Mayo Clinic is actually doing a lot with this right now. The light, what it does is it works with the growth factor to stimulate this thing here called angiogenesis. So angio meaning blood vessel and genesis meaning new. So what we're doing is we are actually regenerating and regrowing new blood vessels. Here's an example of angiogenesis. As you can see, the blood vessels, they grow like roots of a tree when given the right environment. You give a plant the right nutrients, oxygen, water, sunlight, it grows, it heals, it thrives. Picture on the right, as you can see, Exhibit A, the black ring is an actual nerve fiber with no network of blood vessels surrounding it. So this nerve is degenerating or dying off. This nerve actually lacks the vital nutrients needed to survive. To the right of it It looks like roots growing from a tree. There is a whole new network of blood vessels after therapy. Okay. The other thing we do for our members from home is a fancy term called biofeedback. Bio meaning body and feedback meaning signaling. So we are using professional grade feedback technology to actually rewire and then retrain the nerves how to function properly. So in other words, if the nerves are damaged and breaking down, we reestablish the proper wiring networks, then re-educate the damaged nerves and teach them how to function correctly again. Here is another one of our published studies, clinical trial, that shows the effects of this type of system. If you look on the page, there's 532 participants, and they responded with a reduction in symptoms within just 10 days. Okay. One last check-in here, folks. If you could all type the number 4 for me in the chat box there so I can make sure everyone is following along, okay? Ready? And just in case any of you were wondering, we do have over 2,000 clinical trials, research articles on the technology we use. And taking a look at the chat box, looks like we are all following along here. Thanks again, folks. Appreciate you. Now, for our last success story of the evening, and we're going to introduce Margarita. And when I say, truly grateful, what I'm talking about is myself. I get to be a part of what, some call a miracle. See, to me, the solution to the challenge is in plain sight. But to most of you that I speak with for the first time, it is really hard to see freedom when you've been programmed by so much doubt. This sick care system tells us that the body is not intelligent enough to heal, even given the right tools, that God didn't bless us with this divine intelligence. There's no hope, there's no inspiration, there's no motivation, there's just this repeated recording, right? See, when it comes to most healthy people, they've got thousands of wishes, right? But to an ill, sick person, only has one. Margarita here, she had just one wish, one goal, one dream, and that was to get back what she used to have, what most of us take for granted, a healthy body. To be her guide towards achieving that, well, let's just say, I'm more than grateful to be a part of that. So let's take a quick look at her story.
Symptoms on my legs, I couldn't walk that well. My legs would swell up. I couldn't run. I couldn't walk too far. I couldn't do my regular things that I was able to do. I found them. I came, and thanks to them, I'm 100% good, and I'm thankful. And if anybody has the same problem I do, I recommend you come here because they're really, really good people and they help you.
Such a beautiful heart, and just so grateful to be a part of Margarita's journey. Okay, so who is a candidate for our care? We need to confirm, of course, that the nerve damage is not beyond 90%. In most cases, we need to conduct a thorough medical history. Now, I do this one-on-one with you in our first consultation together. Now, in order to conduct this medical history without you having to come fly out or travel far to see us, we ask that you have your partner or family member there for the virtual Zoom consultation, and preferably someone whom you normally consult with about your healthcare needs. This way you can both see, right, firsthand exactly how far progressed your neuropathy is, and as a team, we can all work together to create this roadmap to getting your life back. And if you stay till the end of this webinar, then that shows me, right, that you are determined, right, to fix this thing the right way. I like working with people who are committed, right? And I will go out of my way to do whatever it takes to reflect that commitment. Now, the spots I do have available on my schedule for consultations, they do get filled up pretty quickly. So if I can leave those spaces open for those who are truly in need, then those individuals can get the care they need as a priority. Okay, so here's how we do it. I start off with one 45 to 60-minute consultation, and within that time frame, we determine how far progressed the neuropathy is, if I can still help you, what you have been given so far, how that has worked, what your goals, concerns are, all that first call. Keep in mind, I do not delegate this out to our other doctors. You'll be getting on the call with me directly one-on-one. And we typically do them over a Zoom video call, just like we are right here. Keep in mind, okay, in order for us to do this first part, again, it's important we fill in some of the blanks while we're on the consultation with the assistance of your significant other, person close to you that you normally consult with about your health care conditions. This person will also provide us, with some assistance during the review, your medical history, not real complicated, it's pretty simple. So if for any reason your person cannot be with you during the initial consultation, we can reschedule you. Now, if you do not have a significant other, then of course, right, go right ahead, book a consultation, and it can just be you and I on the call. Okay, so what does it cost? So usually the things that I do with people and work with them on their neuropathy is $249. On the webinar today, I told you if you stick around till the end, I like to do it for everyone on the call for $39. So for $39, what you get is a 45 to about 60-minute one-on-one virtual Zoom consultation, detailed review of health history, lifestyle, nutrition review, neuropathy, nerve findings review, expectations of improvement, and an individualized care plan. Okay, so here's how we schedule. In the chat box, you have all been kind of accessing and typing things in there. You open up that chat box, and what you're going to see in there is the link that Barbara has posted. Okay, and you click on that link, and it's going to take you to my schedule. But what it is going to do is first take you to a page that looks like the current page you see on your screen. So that link that Barbara has posted in the chat box there will take you to this page, gives you the special $39. So it gives you that discounted fee. Just click on the link there. You just put in your information in there, and I do see here you're all getting on there and doing it as we're explaining it. So again, you just click on that link, okay? We'll take you to this page here that will give you the special pricing. Put your information, your name, email, and so forth, your information, right? And you take care of the $39, and you will get an receipt emailed to you. And then it will take you immediately to my schedule, okay? And now with my schedule, you'll see a page that looks like this. What you want to do there is just pick, a day and a time that works for you. I've made it a priority to carve out these times for folks on the webinar tonight. The last webinar I did, I opened up my calendar and the schedule booked up in about 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm doing what I can to open up more, options this week and make these times available on my schedule. Speaking of which, it actually already looks like the times I carved out for tomorrow have already been fully booked up by some of you. I do have a remaining, it looks like 14 slots available. There are over 100 of you on the webinar tonight. These slots are limited because, unfortunately, I do have other patients I treat with different conditions, okay? So what I would say is this, for what I've gone through tonight, if you are serious about getting to the root of the issue and getting your life restored for years to come, then please go ahead, get on there, pick a day, and a time and get on my schedule. Now, if you're not really resonating with what I've been talking about the last 15 minutes or so here, and you're okay with the medication, you just kind of want to see how it goes, you can live with it, and you're not really concerned about getting to the cause, please don't book a call, okay? I would like to leave these times open for those, really committed and in need of healing this thing the right way. So, until you're ready to do that, or, if you have a question or whatnot, you of course can email us. Now, on the contrary, if what I've been, going over with you here, if this is something you want to investigate, then again, just please go ahead and click on the link with those specific steps. Now, if you need anything, if anything didn't make sense, Judy is on my team, okay? And I get compliments on our team literally, multiple times a day. And they just love what they do, like I do. They love helping people. Joy that, just kind of comes out of this. Judy's number is in the chat box there if you need it. Feel free to call her. If you have any issues getting scheduled on there, her number is 310-621-5226, okay? Alrighty, so as I explained in the beginning and throughout the webinar, that I will be answering any questions you might all, have here. So go ahead right now, type your questions into the chat box there. And I see here, we have a question right away. Don't see the link. So if you see there, Connie, that Barbara has posted a link right there in the chat box. You just click on that link right there in the chat box, and it will take you to my schedule and whatnot, where you can book a consultation. And if you're having any challenges on there, again, Judy, she's here to support you. She's got her number listed in there for you. You can give her a call or, text message. Now, anyone who's contacting, Judy, who's my case manager, we go ahead and leave a message. And as soon as the, webinar is over, we're going to get back to you as soon as we can sometime tonight. For sure tonight, we will get back to you though. So just kind of hold tight there, but go ahead and give it a go. Try and click on that link there that Barbara's posted. See if you can get on my schedule there. Cindy, you are very welcome. Looking forward to it. And we got a question about different types of equipment. So red light therapy is not used to treat neuropathy. It provides a more superficial kind of pain management approach, but is not going to actually stimulate angiogenesis. Great question. We got a question here also on preparation for the consultation. Okay, so preparation for the consultation. Once you have booked a day and a time for the consultation, you're going to get 2 emails, okay? One with the Zoom call details, and the other will be sent to you from Intake Queue, where you're going to fill out, all your medical history on a simple form. It's very important to have this form filled out before the consultation. And if you can actually please, fill it out sooner than later, so it gives me enough time to thoroughly review your medical history, and I can take a very tailored approach to what is going on with your body, okay? And of course, please be as detailed as possible with that medical intake. All right. Maria, Joe, Donald, Jeanette, excellent. It's my pleasure. I am looking forward to our consultation. Looking at the questions here, folks. Give me one sec. All right. We have a question here about some questions about health insurance. covering the cost of the program, or your specific protocol, cost of equipment, and so forth. We have several different pieces of equipment. We have a lot, right? And every one I take a tailored approach to you and what's going on. This is why within the medical intake, build that out as detailed as possible so that I can utilize what's going on in your body, and then I can take a tailored approach to creating a protocol for you that's going to work the best based off of your medical history. Okay, so this is not some one size fits all. We do not sell equipment either a la carte. Again, this is practitioner licensed equipment. It is extremely powerful, so it needs to be supervised by a licensed practitioner. Okay, and now as far as insurance goes, great question. Again, so once you book consultation, you're going to be emailed a medical history form. Within that form, you'll be providing us with the information our insurance department needs to do a complimentary benefits check. Okay, so our insurance benefits specialists provide a detailed review of what your insurance will cover. Within our consultation, right, I can review that information as to what is covered, and we accept all major insurance carriers. Understand though that the benefits provided is up to each individual's particular allowable benefits. All right, you're welcome, Karen. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to helping you. Absolutely. Looking at more questions here. Steve, you absolutely can connect with Judy there if you've got some questions. We're looking forward to getting those questions answered for you. So if you look on the chat box there, you'll find Judy's number there, and you can contact her, and we will get back to you as soon as the webinar is over, sometime tonight, as soon as we can. We usually have quite a number of individuals trying to get on my schedule and working things out and things like that. So Pat, yeah, Pat, if you need to speak with your daughter about it, what I would recommend is this webinar is going to be recorded. So that recording and the replay of that will be sent to everybody by the end of this week. I highly recommend that, if your loved one hasn't seen it, or your daughter, or whoever helps you with your, healthcare needs, sees this recording so they can get a thorough understanding of kind of what's going on and options out there to help you. Troy, looking forward to it. Looking forward to carving out some time with you, getting to know you. Connie, great question. So it's we got a question in regards to equipment. So if we find that certain pieces of equipment are going to work the best for your particular situation, within the protocol, we have recommendations for that equipment, and it does get shipped out to you. Also keep in mind, right, that we are guiding and assisting you along with this pass, how to use the equipment, any type of complications or challenges, with using the equipment. Like, we are here for you, on that fundamental initial basis, right, to get you up and running using that equipment. Okay, great question. Okay, so we got more questions about the different types of equipment, infrared, biofeedback. Okay, so there is your circulatory system, and then there's your neurological system. Both of those areas are affected in neuropathy. Okay, so we need to take a tailored approach to figure out what is the cause in your particular situation that has caused the breakdown of your circulatory system and your neurological system in your feet. And for some, that's progressed to your hands. Okay. Once we figure out that cause, and we can adapt and figure out what is going to be the best solution of the type of equipment we're using for both these types of systems within your body. Okay. Now, why our particular equipment is let's say better, right, is because we were the first to get approved in 1994 by the FDA. We have over 2,000 research articles and clinical trials that provide the statistical significance of showing improvement within patients for, since 1994. So we have a long history of success utilizing these different pieces of equipment, and they are not things that you just buy off of, Amazon. These are practitioner license only, so you need a license in order to purchase the equipment. So this is how we provide that daily sort of care by guiding you in a consulting approach, right? Utilizing these different forms of communication, right? Great question. Troy, if you're having some challenges there, scheduling, I know you said here you kind of booked. Again, if you have any challenges, just kind of scroll there, find Judy's number in the chat box. We'll make sure we connect with you and get you all situated. Yes, Trisha, we will have a recording that will be, the replay will be sent out towards the end of this week. Okay, we got a question with the equipment, if that can be utilized on the hands. And again, that is a great question because we are taking a tailored approach. So some people don't have it in their hands, right? So we're going to utilize different equipment for individuals who just have it in their feet or have it in their feet and their hands. Great question. We do have equipment that is specialized to be used on the hands. Okay, let's see here. Any other questions? Okay, so we have a question here in regards to reviewing past medical histories, nerve conduction velocity, right, exams that have been performed. Yes, we can review all those. I can review all those types of exams, and I would love to see all that. So you can go ahead and schedule consultation. And after you schedule that consultation, right, fill out your medical history. We can get you to email those through our secure, servers. You can email all your kind of medical information, exams, results of all those types of things. All right. Okay. All right, so we have some more questions in regards to the different types of equipment. So as far as what the equipment looks like, it is not large. It is small, and actually what's great about that is these things can be actually placed in your carry-on to travel. I have a lot of patients who are like, hey, I'm within this protocol with you. Over the next couple months, I'm going to be flying out somewhere, and I say that is great. You can take all this equipment with you. It will literally fit within your carry-on. So great question. Okay, and we have a question in regards to why doesn't my medical provider neurologist use these? So within traditional care, there's a toolbox. Within that toolbox, there's a certain set of tools. That's all they have at their disposal. Medications, injections, and surgeries. That's it, unfortunately. And, that's also something that I do go over when we go through your, the medical history. Great question there. It's an unfortunate scenario. It's more kind of crisis care than sick care. God forbid it's there, you break a leg, appendix burst, that sort of thing. God forbid you need it. But not to fix the primary issue, not to reverse the neuropathy. Those things do not work. Short term, all they do is they kind of mask symptoms. Great question. Okay, everyone, I'm going to check a few more questions here, and then we're going to get it wrapped up. All wonderful questions. So if you have any more questions there, go ahead and pop them in the chat box and get them answered for you. Okay, again, so for any type of insurance based questions, so we do a complimentary benefits check. Okay, I'm not a specialist when it comes to insurance, but what I will tell you this is that within that department, we do everything we can to see if insurance will provide benefits for the type of care that we provide, the regenerative, preventative type of care. Okay, and we do everything we can to see what your insurance provides, and I do, once I get that information, I provide a complete review of everything that your insurance will provide. Okay, great question. Let's see here. Okay, so we have a question in regards to TENS unit for neuropathy. So yeah, a TENS unit or any other type of electrical stimulation, is just not going to do the job for neuropathy. It may ease some pain or discomfort, but it won't work on the cause. Again, that's kind of an explanation we go through with people on our consultation. You're very welcome. Have a great evening. Okay, so we got one last question here in regards to an estimate for charges. So again, I take a tailored approach. It's all based off of your medical history. Every person is different. It's not a one size fits all, approach to this. That does not work for neuropathy. Everyone has sort of different causes and reason that the body and the blood vessels and the nerves is kind of broken down. And I take that approach with, the consultation that I have with you to look at everything that's going on with your body and really create this tailored protocol specifically designed for you. Okay. All right, everyone. It looks like we got all that. Very good. Very good. Excited to help you all. If you haven't already, one last time, go ahead and jump in there and get your appointment scheduled. Calendar does fill up pretty quick. If you haven't done that, go ahead and, do that, and you'll get that discounted rate. I'm looking forward to helping you all. The worst thing that we can do here with this is delay. Everyone, and I mean everyone, should be able to live life right, not endure it. Again, if what I've said to you resonates, then go ahead and schedule a call, and I'm looking forward to helping you all. Talk to you soon. Have a great night.